Here we go. We got game number 1, best of 7 decider. Winner gets a flight to China to the LingYuan Cup 50K main event LAN. Haven't said this during the intros. I will be casting that event. I will just not be in China. There will be no English casters on site, but I will be casting that just as I'm doing now. Hopefully we'll have some the player cams and some of the footage of what's happening there. It'll be really cool. Hearttt is my favorite for this set. I've seen these two face up against each other in different tournaments. Heartt's aggression always has been the standout for me. But I think Barles has had a really good run here, and he beat Winchester. Winchester also I would have considered to be more aggressive than him. And Barles had great strategy. Barles is playing as the Romans, and Hearttt is playing as the Japanese, already taking advantage of the fish in the middle here on the map Fish and Fish. And also you have the fish on the outside, that's the name. So you can kind of combine that. This map can be really, really awkward to play. But usually, guys, the way it works, if I had to simplify the builds, if someone mills in the middle, they don't dock in Dark Age. If someone docks out here on Dark Age, they mill the middle in mid-feudal. So you're just reversing the order, and it tends to even out overall. Like, Barles is going to have more workers, but they're less efficient right now than these 3 villagers on the shorefish. And, you know, vice versa. So scouting's obviously important. Hearttt is currently looking for a dock, and he's missing it. Now, will he check here? Like, you might just assume, okay, he hasn't docked and move on to the next thing. And he's not really going one direction or another. I think, yeah, in his mind, he's checking middle now. Yeah, because he says, okay, if he hasn't docked the outside, he's definitely in the middle with me. Oh, crap. What if he's going for the same build? So Hearttt missing that is definitely a factor early on here. Hearttt will probably want man-at-arms. We see a lot of man-at-arms on this map. And now Heartt's probably really confused. We'll add the flags here. Because we have the time. And I guess I'm going to grab my caffeine in between games. They started very quickly here. Why are they milling the fishes? Because it's crazy fast food income. It's free. It's like 50 wood investment for, even if we just count the fish around, that's 1,000 food. So you're just not going to find that in AoE2 that frequently. So it's a very strong position to have. Hearttt clicks up. Barles has been very greedy here. He has not scouted his opponent in the middle. He hasn't scouted here at all. He's trying to push in that extra zebra. Now, the argument for this is high risk, high reward. And if you're a pretty good adaptive player, this additional food spike could help, and you might not be punished. But I feel like of all maps, you need to be scouting. Typically on hybrid maps like this, you need to know what's happening. And I guess Hearttt doesn't know there's a dock, but yeah, now Barles has to go back to finish the job with that zebra. And now here comes the militia. And there is the gold. And here comes Hearttt. And this is where not having a heads up on what's coming could be a factor. I think the nice thing, though, is you do just know that the Japanese are going man-at-arms anyways. Because that's what history would tell you with the meta on this map. And Hearttt, man-at-arms on the way. 4 of them, actually. They could melt through a palisade. And he also goes for the archer range immediately. So those fishing ships for Barles are still working. So far, it's gone unchecked. Be man-at-arms for Barles, but Roman man-at-arms are not superior to Japanese man-at-arms. Look how fast the Japanese man-at-arms swing their swords, man. It is noticeably different than the other man-at-arms that we see. That's crazy. Barles just able to get the gold to build the next one, but this is Hearttt for you. Super fast early land pressure, super fast follow-up, and then an adaptation from there. This has been clean. And he's waiting. He knows that Barles will eject at some point. Barles has 4. Barles is getting armor. So Barles gets the double armor, but Japanese still attack faster. Does anyone know how that goes? I feel like it would be even. The extra armor for melee is just a +1. And then there's the archer too. But I think if it was... I would want to know how this goes before the archers here. Let's see. That micro from Hearttt is fantastic. He pulled back the weak man-at-arm. Barles is doing the same. Hearttt still has his scout HP, though. Damn, the Roman man-at-arms are tanky. That was good. Hearttt has a spearman here. He's going to find the dock. I think he was hoping to deny the dock, though. So Barles has benefited from having that for a while. And Barles now uses that army to move out to the middle to build a tower. Kind of risky here. He doesn't have a lot of army left, but the tower's already on the way. Barles, you just got to build it with all your villagers here, man. You got to build it with everything. Hearttt will take the final man-at-arm. You can tell there's a micro difference. And Barles, you got to build that tower. You got to build it quickly here. It's at 82%. There's weak villagers here. This is a lot of pressure. 1 villager's down. It's going to be 2 villagers down. 3 villagers down. And could be more. It's not more, but the villagers aren't exactly working either. And Heartt's already on to another mill. Heartt's got the spearman on the fishing ship right now. That could kill. Really good moment for Hearttt. He kills another villager. It's just so much pressure all the time, man. And like... Hearttt is such a good, Barles is such a good strategic player, and he is really fast, too. Like, people don't realize how fast he is. But Hearttt is he's just faster, dude. Like, he's simply faster. Like, how does he have so many farms behind this? How does he have double bid axe behind this? How is he able to get the timings? It's just so good. Now he'll go for the blacksmith for fletching, and no golden come for Barles means he can't make archers, he can't make man-at-arms, and he also can't make a lot of fires. So actually, this would be a perfect time for Hearttt to dock. And then Hearttt could make multiple fires to pressure the fish there. And just 2 man-at-arms for Hearttt, so it's not enough punching power to break through the walls very quickly. Barles is in damage control mode. Dude, I just love this. The tower now on the shorefish, because you're exposed there, is so good. Just perfect. So I was watching Hearttt type in MBL's Twitch chat like 2 nights ago. And he said, I think he was talking to Sato, because Sato was saying, speaking about some of his games. And Hearttt was like, there's no in between for me. I either destroy someone or I get destroyed. And that is so true. He's just one of those players. He massacres people, or, you know, things aren't as clean as he's used to. And then he gets massacred. But I don't expect him to get massacred that frequently today. Maybe on some other maps. But Barles... He didn't know the tower would be there. He knew the vills would be there. But now the man-at-arms get pushed back, and Barles is just trying to turn fish into arena right now for some advantage. But it is not looking very clean. Hearttt could be on the way to Castle Age soon. And Hearttt is adding those fires. Again, he gets to 2 fires, he moves out, he wins water. Barles was off of gold for so long, and he still is. More skirmishers coming. There's archers in the mix as well. Armor now for Hearttt as he just walks right by. If anything, I think Barles needed to go to stone somehow and get multiple towers down. Didn't end up doing that. Instead, he spent what's left of his stone on some stone walls. I know these are Roman man-at-arms, but is that enough against the army that Hearttt has here? It doesn't feel like it's really enough. They are tanky, but they still can't get in close to kill those skirmishers right now. And Hearttt even waits for 2 fires as well. Because if you go with 1, they have time to adapt and repair. He goes with 2. And by the time Barles reacts to make another fire, it's not even worth it for him to make it. This is looking like Heartt's going to start this series off with a bang here, guys. And Barles, it really just comes back to early feudal age. Now, again, he probably knew it was going to be man-at-arms, but he didn't scout any aspect of his opponent's opening. which certainly made things awkward here. And so for me, it comes back to that, like, extra zebra. Is that extra 140 food worth it? But then it's like, it's even a deeper conversation. If you are up against a player who beats you more often than you beat them, what do? You're extreme, and you take more risks. And I think, I have to check Liquipedia, but I think that's the case with Barles and Hearttt. And so he will probably take a lot of risks today. 11-0 Eco KD right now. 11-0, just crazy. Stable's on the way up for Hearttt as well. He can just send Knights right underneath his tower in Castle Age. First time that Hearttt might lose Eco. Over here. And Barles still hoping to get up to Castle Age. Hearttt is just sitting underneath the tower right now with his skirms and archers. There's no army coming back. Villagers are just going to fight back for their friends. There is another man-at-arm, though. And Heartt's still microing here. He's added fish on water. He didn't know there were going to be 2 man-at-arms. He's clearly a little distracted with the micro in the middle. So he loses a Vill. He's going to lose another Vill. Oh, quick wall. Huh. 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 Nope, loses the Vill. But Castle Age time is pretty ridiculous here. Nice counterattack here from Barles. That's not bad. I just don't know how he stops Knights. How are you supposed to stop Knights when your base is this open and you have so many exposed Vills? I just don't know that you do. Had he been able to counter with anything, though, it would have been really nice. He had no opportunity to do that because Hearttt was just smothering him constantly. It's double stable. Here they come. They're actually only being produced out of... Okay, there we go. He fixes it. And Barles has to hold for another minute. Impressive holds from Barles. And somehow he's only behind by 800 res collected. There will be more fishing ships eventually for Hearttt, but there's not a ton of fish on this map. Here come the Knights, though. And Barles wants to go for his own Knights. He doesn't have any spearmen, and he just calls the GG. Yeah, I mean... You can really add spears now, because there's still skirms that can snipe them. These villagers, only 5 can be safe, and then the rest of them die. Your gold is very exposed, and you're not in Castle Age yet. And that is just all the result of an excellent opening from Hearttt. I do want to show the difference, though, because I'm a big scouting guy, okay? But I think on any hybrid map, it's absolutely king. I'm going to even go back to the freaking 6-minute mark, which I guess is more like closer to the 9-minute mark in a 3-villager start. But Hearttt had already done multiple... He'd done like a full circle around Barles' base. Knows where the berries are, knows where the gold is. He checked the middle. He knew there wasn't a mill there. He did check the shoreline, and he was unlucky. But he was looking for the dock, even though he missed it. What did Barles do? He's pushing a zebra. Like, he doesn't know his opponent's got a mill. He doesn't know his opponent's got the man-at-arm timing. He doesn't know if his opponent has a dock or not. So, is the zebra worth being surprised? I don't know. But, again, in the defense of Barles, he probably expected man-at-arms anyways. So, he would have maybe guessed correctly there. So, we'll see. So, Burgundians for Barles. We've got Chicken Arena. And I can sense there's going to be a bit of a funnel here. Everyone on the arena generations have been just funneling these chickens. So let's compare their chicken funnels. We've got some partially built walls here from Hearttt. The chickens are stupid, so the chickens will try and move to the other side of the wall. And they're already trying to do that. And Hearttt is placing these palisades, and the chickens are coming on through. 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 Dude, this is amazing. They're moving already. Usually you have to use your scout a little bit. And so Hearttt says, I'm not going to mill those chickens. Why would I ever do that? That's a waste of wood. Let's just build these walls, and the chickens just wander to the other side of the wall, which means they have to go through my TC. So this is Uber Eats, Uber Chicken, Door Chicken, I don't know. And that's really nice. Bohemians for Hearttt. I think we're going to see Barles do the funnel as well. He's actually placing houses he already wants to help with that funnel. I've heard a lot of clown players, a lot of arena players talk about this matchup. And John Slow, for example, would always prefer Bohemians, but he would always go Pike and Monk. He wouldn't boom a lot. He would go like full-on Pike Monk, 1 TC aggression. If it's the boomy style, which the super high-level players tend to do, I personally think it's pretty close. The Burgundians have the good cav to be able to patrol around the map and look for those relics. They have very good eco. I wouldn't expect Hearttt to go full monk here. I would expect Hearttt to just play towards the imp timings with Bohemian Gunpowder, maybe. But anyways, guys, I'm going to leave you to watch the chickens. There's no better time for me to step away. I want to get a drink. I didn't get a chance to in between the sets. So I'll be right back. Enjoy the chicken. And I'm going to guess that Barles has 0 chickens left in his base by the time I'm back. But we'll see. BRB. Okay. I am back. We didn't miss too much. Hearttt is probably going for the market and the blacksmith. There he goes. Build looks pretty good. Bohemians can always go up a little bit faster. They don't get their eco upgrades early, so there's no investment there. And they don't need as much on wood because the blacksmith is cheaper. So pretty smooth build here from Hearttt. Now, this is either going to be a boom, or this is going to be some pressure here. And we'll basically know based on what Hearttt does with those villagers there. Hearttt looking around to see what Barles will go for. I see chat commenting on the uptime from Barles. I think this is actually what you have to do, guys. With chickens. A chicken arena map is worse for Burgundians. Even though you don't have to build the second mill. If it's deer, you can go up a little bit faster, but if you really want that smooth transition on 2 lumber camps, which you always do, because if you go 1 lumber camp with early double bit, you're going to have a really inefficient lumber camp. This is what you have to do. You can tell by his res. This is pretty much perfect. He wouldn't have been able to go up any faster, so I like this. And he will know he'll have more res collected. A little bit of idle TC time because the market was late. But there he goes. And okay, Hearttt. So Heartt's going to at least have 4 on gold. He's building a barracks now, so that will be for some spearmen. But this doesn't feel like full clownery. This doesn't feel like what Nikov did to Tato earlier today. This will just be 1 monastery, a couple monks hoping to get relics, spears hoping to kill scouts. And just wondering what Barles is going to do long-term here, though, because he doesn't actually have a lot on wood. So he's got a nice setup here to make lots of scouts and get the light cav upgrade, but... And I'm sure the wood count's going to come in, but he'll probably go monastery first. So that's wood spent on that. Double bid axe is something he could be getting now. He's actually not going to have a lot of res for TCs, not as early as Hearttt will. Noble says, I'll never forget my dad's last words to me before he left the house that Sunday and he never returned. Balk, balk, balk. Are you saying his name is Chicken? The scout from Hearttt gets bonked. Not a balk, a bonk. It's different. But he can heal that up there with the monk. Look at that awkward stare the spearmen give each other as they are about to thrust. That was a weird sentence. I'm still not used to that. Like, I think it's... I'm still rather torn on it. When they made the change to the attack animations, some of the units just still look very, very weird. Like, Spearman's maybe the most awkward. But I get why they did it. It was probably a good change overall. Just still not quite used to it yet. Light Cav can fight off individual spearmen. 3 spearmen you have to think about, but it's doable. 4 spearmen probably not with these numbers. And double monastery from Barles. Damn. Now, this isn't too bad because, like, the only thing that's going to be out there is spears. And spears don't kill monks. So double monastery is actually kind of nice. If you can get the monks out fast, you just convert the counter to your light cav, and then your light cav could kill their monks. What you are doing, though, is you are delaying that second town center, which he has done already. And Hearttt might have a villager lead, but Barles, oh, sneaky moves. Yeah, Barles is just so experienced on these maps. I think Hearttt is capable, but Hearttt pretty much is just hoping that his civ strengths will carry. He wants to be using mobility. He maybe wanted to pick Burgundians himself, but Burgundians was the very first civ pick for Barles. Hearttt wants the monk. He gets the monk. Does he delete? He doesn't. He runs away. He lost a monk. He killed the light cav. Saving that scout is pretty nice. The scout is actually a bit slower, though, because Hearttt got, or Barles got husbandry. So I don't think there's any way that that can be saved. Yeah, Barles is just simply too good to let that get away. Still no relics collected. Second TC's coming up for Barles, and another monk goes down. I don't like the Spearman monk thing. I don't like it. I think if you're going to play Spearman at all, it's like on the back of a lot, with a lot of monks and siege and pressure. I like extremes with Bohemians. You either go super all-in aggressive, or you play super defensive with fast 3 TCs, try and get chemistry fast and adapt from there. But I'm also just really impressed with how Barles has played it. Barles has made this look really easy. And again, he will lose one monk, converts a spear. Didn't get any relics yet. Still keeping an eye on this one, though. Res collected starting to get closer. And Heartt's actually killing monks with the spearman. Dang. Give him credit. That was really good. Killed a couple monks, forcing more monk investment. He's delaying the relics coming in. Now dropping the third town center. Oh, dude, I want to see early chemistry siege tower with hand cannons so bad. I think it was either Nikov or ACCM was the first person I saw do it in one of the TTL seasons. Because right now you have no map control, right? And your opponent's probably going to siege push you. You go for a stable? Okay. Well, he might add light cav late. Maybe that could surprise the opponent. But yeah, you add a university, you get chemistry, and then you move out with the gunpowder in Castle Age. Everyone's expecting the Bohemians to just go in. You can really take that map control. Well, Hearttt wants at least one relic, and he's having a really hard time getting that. And the monks are just roaming freely around the map right now, so he needs some counter to that. So that's why he's adding a scout. But I think you have to be really careful showing your hand here, because once he sees it, he knows you'll have a stable, and Barles is like, what? I already killed this scout. Okay, monk does go down. Gives an opportunity here for Hearttt to get that relic back. Barles probably has to let it go because he doesn't want to give Hearttt a light cav. And now the third town center for Barles. Pretty close game. Pretty close game. The scout now comes in. Can the scout kill another? I'm taking these trades all day if I'm Hearttt. He didn't even have the light cav upgrade, and he's killing monks. His farming eco is also insane. It's really good. And he researched Fervor a while ago, so his vills are very efficient, very quick. Monks will be speedy as well. I wouldn't hate the pikeman upgrade at this stage of the game either. Pikeman would be really nice. But then again, the spears are already doing enough. The additional damage might not be needed. Relic coming in on this left side now for Barles. There's not enough light cav for Hearttt to stop that one, nor does he see it. But Hearttt might be able to get this one. Where are we going, pal? Where are we going? Where are we going? Okay. There he goes. Are you going to let the bear into your town here? Yep, bear's coming into your town. Bear's outside the door. Light cav swoop in. Micro. Oh! Oh! Oh, that was still really good, though. That was still really good. That was great micro from Hearttt. He killed 3 light cav. Because now you're thinking imp with your food eco. So you're basically forcing Barles to delay that imp by making more light cav. Now, earlier, Barles got Atonement, I'm pretty sure. And I don't think Heartt's expecting that. And say goodbye to your monk. Say goodbye to your monk. Yup. See ya. And now you also donated spears. So now your light cav is not as effective. And he's not attacking the same targets. And no, it swings right back for Barles. Yeah, Barles will be very happy with that. There's the university for Heartt. I don't think he's getting chemistry now, though. I think he's just going to try and go imp. And then just get chemistry while he's on his way up. So I thought it was going to be 4-1. There was a chance it could have been 3-2. Res collected is very close right now. There's not a big difference at all. Monks are kind of hiding there. That monk should make it home. Both are on the way up. Same times. Vil counts are even. Res collected is the exact same. Look at this. That's crazy. I mean, it all just comes down to when resources are getting dropped off. And I think it should scale to be the same as well. Because Barles will have more relics, but Heartt has more villagers, so. When I look at the ecos, I definitely think the food eco is way better for Heartt. Heartt's got 43 farms. It's only 25 right now for Barles. And Heartt's able to get chemistry, so this is the timing Bohemians can hit with. Halb, gunpowder is normally what you see, but heavy skirmisher play against Bohemians can work very, very well. And Barles knows this. Barles is already making skirmishers as we speak. So sometimes you'll see the Bohemian player match that with their own skirms. And Barles is going to save a lot of wood because he has that farm upgrade. So long term, he'll actually... Now, he's going to have the buildings for archer ranges. Heartt's farms are going to be receding a little bit more. So that's how you can compare the economies. And this seems to me like Barles wants to go for a forward castle, but like... I think with 4 relics, you want a castle that's a little bit more defensive, but maybe this gives him space to work with. My logic is typically build a defensive castle, but then you don't have the map control. Without map control, you can struggle. Monks are converting vills right now. Lycav are here to snipe the monks. Monks might be needed later on for bombard cannons, so if Barles loses all these monks, let's not forget this. That castle's going up for Heartt. Both players will lose monks, but all the monks for Barles could go down. Castle needs to focus them. And okay, it doesn't get them all. Vil count still ahead for Heartt. Heartt is an imp, and Heartt can immediately make bombard cannons. So, what do you need to neutralize their bombard cannons? You need monks. You need monks with redemption. I don't like losing the monks there. I do like the double siege workshop. I do like the immediate chemistry from Barles, though. And I also like the fact he's going skirms. Heartt's like only building up towards 1 bomber cannon as well. He doesn't have a second siege workshop. He doesn't really have a lot of wood right now. Heartt doesn't even have the pike upgrade. Now he does. But again, pikes, monks, all this stuff, it dies to skirms. I would say, considering Heartt is my favorite in this series, that Barles has to win this one, right? This is his #1 Civ pick. Losing this would be painful. He is getting the Cavalier upgrade, but I think that he's getting the Cavalier upgrade because there may be a point where he can go Paladin. But I don't think he's actually going to go Paladin. Having said that, he's going for a stable now. Heartt definitely needs fletching for these castles. These skirms are getting a little too close. And Barles is expecting to lose this castle, maybe. He's not making another treb. He's just going for conscription. Devotion on the way. Devotion on the way, because the monks are going to be out to convert these cannons. Good skirm micro from Barles. He does eat a shot, but it's just skirmishers. His castle and the conscription upgrade. Perfect timing, actually. He'll get that upgrade. Heartt going for the slow cook build here. He's not expanding out at all. He wants Halb Hoofnita. No archery ranges for him, so no gunpowder planned beyond the bombard cannons. It's just going to be Halb, bombard cannon. Barles lost the castle, but he's been able to take the map control, taking the additional stones, taking the golds. There's a big imp battle, and all I freaking hear are chickens balking. And I can't hold myself back from talking about it. So, apologies for the complaints. I wish they would have funneled those chickens as well. Wagenberg tactics. The gunpowder and bombard cannons will be faster for Heartt. That's a huge pickoff. And Barles may get desperate now. You lose a bombard cannon there, and you feel inclined to try and return the score, and it just didn't happen. Skirmishers have just been thrown away. Still no Halb upgrade. So in theory, Halb Hufnitsa kills everything, right? Except for, like, I guess, champion. But I don't even think Burgundians get champion, or if they do. Oh, they do, actually. Okay. Another bombard cannon down for Barles. Man. Heartt sacrificing some pikemen for the monks, which would be pretty good if he can kill them. The other one's also weak from before. That monk could be killed. Ah, man, I just keep thinking back to Barles losing those monks earlier. Like, if he had 8 monks this whole time, those bombard cannons are not moving out freely. Those monks were needed, man. And now Hufnitsa is on the way for Heartt, who still doesn't have the relics, still doesn't have the map control. But he still has more gold to work with, and his comp only gets stronger. Still doesn't have the Halb upgrade. It's just like so low on military. It's crazy. Barles will make more monks. He's getting redemption now. He's got hand cannons. He's got skirms. He's got such a crazy pop, but he's just not ready to push yet. He is going to try now, though. He has bombard cannons. Bohemians do not get siege engineers, right? Sorry, Burgundians don't get siege engineers. And the Bohemians do. But the Burgundians do more damage with their gunpowder, so their bombard cannons are not just generic gunpowder. And boom, big shot from Heartt. That extra +1 range with siege engineers is helping so much here. These 3 cannons have been sick. They've just been so sick. 22 kills. Treb's in the way now. Treb almost goes down. Heartt, are we going to get Halb, bro? Because this surprise paladin attack could get you if you don't have Halb. This is why I really liked getting Cavalier earlier, because when he made the decision, he was never going to make them. He's going to go for one big push. Why 3 cannons? Because you only need 3 and you can do this much damage. Because it's expensive to get there. But 50 Halbs, 10 Hufnitsa, and everything that Barles sends dies. If Heartt can micro it perfectly. He's making it look easy. It is not. He's actually adding ranges behind. He does have 8 barracks, so that's fine. There's the Halb upgrade. And there's another crazy attack round. This unit is so insane. Hufnitsa is insane. The fact that they get Hufnitsa, get siege engineers, get faster gunpowder upgrade is crazy. It's like 3 big bonuses. Halb isn't in yet for Heartt. Halb is not in yet. Halb needs to be in to protect here. Oh, man, that's crazy. Like, if he loses this game, it's because he didn't have the Halb upgrade there. Halb would have made such a big difference against the Paladins. The Paladins dive. Barles is pushing the castle, but hold on. Hold. Halb is in. Hufnitsa come this way. One of the Hufnitsa gets sniped. But Heartt does hold for a little while, but he can't move out with the Halbs. Because if he doesn't have the cannons, there's problems. And Heartt with the quick walls! He might have saved his Hufnitsa, but he's still repairing his castle. He still doesn't have the relics. He still doesn't have map control. He needs the mass. Crazy quick walling here, though. To allow those Hufnitsa to get close to the Trebs and the bombard cannon. Wow, he snipes the Treb. That's insane. Barles will lose a lot to get that Hufnitsa. He won't even get it. Wow. Wow, well played from Heartt. His Trebs are exposed. But Bohemian Halbs also do additional bonus damage, and so they shred Paladin. I think Barles has to stop making Paladin now. If you want Cav, go Hussar, not Paladin. But Barles is thinking that he can afford to do this because he has the relics and he has the map. And Paladin is just so much stronger than Cavalier, or than Hussar. So if you have the gold, spend it is typically the thinking at this level. Here we go. Hufnitsa are the targets for the Paladins. They get sniped, but the Bombard Cannon is there for Barles. He'll lose that. The Treb is still there, and more Hufnitsa are on the way for Hearttt. Hearttt really needed the final armor. That'll help a lot against the skirms. Yeah, they can actually kill off the skirms now. I wouldn't suggest if someone goes skirms to just go halb into it, but it's workable. It's doable. I think the approach from Barles has been great because he just keeps sending pressure. And even though Hearttt is taking decent enough fights, as he kills another Bombard Cannon, Hearttt should eventually run out of gold. But is Hearttt spending this much gold? He's only making Hufnitsa with gold. And then otherwise it's halb. Barles is losing Trebs. Barles is losing Bombard Cannons. Barles is losing Paladins. Like, he's spending triple the amount of gold. And the Paladins are just all getting completely wiped every single time. Hearttt is holding. How much gold is left on the map right now? There's only 6k. That's not a lot. And Barles needs his Treb to stay alive. He kills a Hufnitsa. He keeps his Treb alive. He dives. He takes the Hufnitsa. So he's still pushing this castle. Where are the siege workshops from Hearttt? He's got these two producing on this side. Also, really like the upgrades we've got from Hearttt for the castles. Having Bracer and Ballistics is just so critical. I don't know why his Paladins have moved back here. I think he saw the skirms. His Treb will get sniped. But how many Trebs can Barles make? How many Bombard Cannons can Barles make? I think he's going to run out of gold very quickly. And Hearttt is banking some. Hearttt will take a Treb. Hearttt will kill some Paladins. Heartt's using his own skirms to take care of the opponent's skirms now, which is a smart mix. It's a lot of Paladins dying, guys. This is so cost-effective for Hearttt. The Hufnitsa are still alive behind. The Bombard Cannons for Barles are going down. Barles is losing his castle here. Just trash Hufnitsa. And again, it's all expensive, but you literally don't need to spend your gold on anything else with this Civ. Maybe the occasional Treb. Paladin is by far the strongest unit you could send in against that, but like, it's so expensive. And I'm just looking around. There is some stone here for Barles. He's got no gold in his base. He's got this gold here. He's almost completely out. And Hearttt is actually almost out as well. Oh, there's a Paladin in there. That's fun. But he can now, he was patient. He can now castle this gold, and he can push this position. And look at his res bank. Dang. This is the home map for Barles. Hearttt. I don't think Hearttt has played a ranked arena game in his entire life. Honestly. I don't know if I'm exaggerating there. He probably has had it banned his entire career. But when it comes time for tourneys, you've got to be ready to play everything, and he has played it so well. His micro is just insane. It almost felt like it was too patient for a while, but he's gotten to the point that he needs to with this Civ. Can Barles actually approach the Trebuchets and the Hufnitsa when he has no gold now? These are the remaining Paladins. He has to make more Paladins because he needs something more than he has right now. He needs his strongest units because if he loses this position, he's probably dead. But it feels bad to be making Paladins still after so many have died. His castle's down. The Paladins have to fear the halbs. He's repositioning here. He's trying to get those Hufnitsa. He was patient enough to get in there and snipe them, but at what cost? There are still nicely positioned skirms over here, so all the reinforcements from Hearttt are getting caught by the skirms. But now, yeah, these halbs can go take those Trebs. And halbs can do okay against the skirms as well. Another Bombard Cannon down for Barles. That Treb may survive. But Heartt will keep his Trebs alive. Look at this line of castles. Castles have 60 kills for Heartt. I think this is Heartt's game to lose now. 2k gold in the bank? He can make dozens more Hoofnitsa and just combine it with his own trash at this point. I wouldn't say he needs to switch. Avoid the temptation to go for Champion. Avoid the temptation to go for Cavalier or Light Cav. You just bank your gold for Hoofnitsa. This gold will be gone soon. Only 1,200 gold left on the map. Heartt actually sneaking by with some of this stone right now. So that's some nice extra stone for him. But he'll push the production now. Barles will get Burgundian Vineyards at a time where I feel like this must have been something he missed before. I thought he had Burgundian Vineyards. I thought his farms are already giving him a little bit of gold, but no. So he didn't have the gold income he would have wanted. He also spent the gold on a lot of paladins to kill quickly. And Heartt just held so well. Again, it looks bad sending paladins after the Halbs now that he's lost. But it was his best potential to just break Heartt before Heartt could get to this stage. Oh my goodness, dude, the shots! It's a massacre. It's just a massacre. The skirms can't get anywhere close to this right now. This is insane. Look at the value destroyed stat. 46,000 value destroyed by Heartt and 28,000 for Barles. It's just so many expensive units he's killed. Another big attack round on the skirms. Only one Hoofnitsa dies. Bohemians, in my opinion, may be the best arena civilization that exists. Most pros are going to say it's Bohemians, it's Burgundians. Maybe some people will say Bengalis. And then there's a bunch of other civs like right below them. Like maybe Portuguese, maybe Turks, maybe Malay. I actually think Malay are top 3 for me. But I think Bohemians are number 1, personally. Because if you play to the late game, you can beat literally everything with their comp. And they have economy to compete with every civ. So they have the military and economy to compete with every civ. Yeah, I mean, they're so good. But Heartt played it well. I mean, he kept it competitive in Castle Age. He made it messy. I still think there's been one thing missing for Barles, and that has been monks. Had he had 6 to 8 monks in early Imperial Age to scare the bombard cannons away, I think he would have held more in the middle of the map. And Barles hoping that with 4 relics and vineyards, he can outlast here. And that he's telling himself Heartt won't be able to make any more cannons. But dude, Heartt's got 3.5k gold. Heartt's got plenty of gold for cannons. Barles won't know that though. And Barles will just see his pop is high enough to keep playing on and knows he has the relics. I mean, I'm never resigning here until I am truly killed. This is to make a LAN event. So stakes are obviously extremely high. Kind of sad he can't get the Hussar upgrade right now. I think he should be able to get there, but at least have that would be nice. Micro from Heartt. Do you guys think Bohemians need a nerf? Any balance nerds out there? I mean, it was nerfed many times before. They're really only insane on Arena. On other maps, they have some struggles. So I think it's good to have like really insane civs on certain things. I do feel like Wagenburg Tactics. What's the speed increase on that? 15%? The fact you get Hoofnitsa and your cannons move faster is pretty wild to me. Obviously, that applies to other forms of gunpowder. I think if you're gonna do anything, I would just say maybe Wagenburg should either not affect Hoofnitsa and only affect their other gunpowder, or maybe you decrease that bonus of 15% and make it like 5 or something. But still 3,000 gold for Heartt. He doesn't lose cannons, so he doesn't need to make more of them all the time. And, I mean, he's done 20k damage with the 4 cannons that I just selected. And pretty soon, Barles is not going to have space for buildings. On the left side, he's trying to build up more buildings. But he's losing units faster than he can produce them right now. And Barles just can't believe it. This is going to be a really painful loss. He would have come into this thinking, to beat Heartt, he has to win his home map at least, right? This is his #1 map. This is his #1 Civ pick. He's about to go down 2 games. And so he's fighting on, maybe in some personal frustration as well. But this is over. Heartt's played it well. Heartt's played it pretty much borderline perfect in terms of early imp. The only thing was he was a little too late with Halb. Like, that one fight almost snowballed against him because he didn't have the Halb upgrade. But his cannon micro this game was ridiculous. Now, I think Barles continuing to play on is just because he doesn't want to accept that this is happening. But as I always say, it's better to work out of that painful loss in the game than be in the lobby before the next one still thinking about it. That's how I view it. So if I'm a little tilted or frustrated, I will easily spend another 2 to 3 minutes in a game that's already lost, just spamming units and dealing with those emotions. That way I can call the GG and be out of it and be focused on the next game. Heartt up 2-0, 2 wins away from making the LingYuan Cup. And we've seen 2 very different games. Game 1, he immediately pressured, and it was non-stop aggression, and he destroyed him. This game, it was a slow cooker, and he still got the job done. I think having made 128 Paladins feels a little painful right now. I would have loved to see Barles on a few more Monks this game with Redemption, with his own Bombard Cannons, and actually with Hussar instead of Paladin. Hussars could still possibly accomplish what he wanted in sniping the Hufnitsa, or maybe a potential raid. And yeah, earlier Burgundian Vineyards. He definitely thought he had Burgundian Vineyards and then realized later. He was like, where's my gold? Yeah, he didn't have that. So he actually collected more food, more gold, more stone. Like, he had all the map. But, like, Bohemians, they don't lose their units. Like, they'll lose their halbs, but they don't lose their gold units if they're properly protected like that. It gets really, really difficult. So I've got some games to bring to you guys on YouTube eventually, featuring the Incas on this map. I first saw it from Niaz in the earlier stages of the qualifier, and then I saw Sato do it, and I think word has gotten around that this strategy is just insane. So this is a 9-villager start in this tourney, so you start with 2 houses, meaning the Incas don't have to build a house for a really long time. And so you have enough wood to make a barracks pretty much right away. If you bring in your boar, you can then make militia and move out with your eagle and try and stop the opponent from taking wood. Now, this has completely destroyed other civs. Like, I've saw this twice, and it was just game over. But now Barles is going to build a barracks? Wow, so Barles knows the strat. Barles is going to build an early barracks too. And the thing about the situation with Armenians is Barles doesn't actually have to go for a lumber camp. He can go for a mule cart, which can actually be moved away from the drush. So I think picking Armenians is very smart, just in general on this map, because you can't build on that rock terrain. But yeah, I don't think Heartt was really expecting to see his opponent was gonna have a barracks as well here. This should still be a cleaner build for Heartt, because Barles still has to make the houses. So with that in mind, like, Heartt's gonna have a very nice timing on everything else behind this. And how many militia are they gonna make? Last time I saw 8 militia in Dark Age. But it is tough to make the militia this early and also produce vills all the time. Requires a lot of managing of the food. Ooh, Barles sneaking. Ooh, Heartt didn't see that. But now Barles sees Heartt, and Barles did this maybe to counter Heartt. Okay, but here's where I wonder what you do now. If you're Barles, you're basically doing the same build but worse. Now you're gonna need wood eventually. Well, he's moving forward. Will Heartt see him? Heartt's militia's there. Heartt's still producing militia. I don't know if he caught a glimpse of that. Does Heartt have loom? Oh, that's the other thing. So every other time I've seen this, the player who's drushing has so much control, they never get loom. So Heartt doesn't even have the gold for loom if he wanted to get that right now, which means his villagers would die, but Barles is going to the left. Barles is going to the left. If he went to the right, he could slaughter. He's going for it. Now, Heartt's got a chance to see this. Heartt is just taking down houses right now, which I think is smart. I think is really smart. Heartt's getting loom now. Heartt should see the militia. He's moving on. He just saw the villagers building the mill there. Heartt doesn't have loom yet. He loses one. He's going to lose 2 villagers because of the late loom. Unless that villager can escape. That's still just 1. But how does that villager ever get home? He's got to sit in the middle of his friends. They're here to protect him. Oh, that's a save rate and a half right there. Nice job, Heartt. What's the wood situation like for Barles? Okay, he made a mule cart on a straggler tree. He's moving over to the wood line. Oh, the villager died now. And Barles is up. Barles is up. I gotta say, guys, like, Barles moving forward with the 2 militia was such a good move. Because so many other people would try and match the opponent there. But he actually just moved forward. And I think Heartt maybe regrets not tracking those 2 militia a bit better. We've seen this strategy that Heartt's doing, just dominate other civs and other players. But those civs were not Armenians. It was not Armenians, and it was not Georgians. Now Barles wants his gold. Barles places the 2 palisades there on the mule cart. Mule carts are very strong. Is it worth attacking them with the militia? Ooh, and now Heartt... Oh, we can see the trees have been chopped. Now here you can't wall. So now Heartt's like, there's your wood income. But Heartt also sees the villagers are respecting the fact that he can go over there, so he just goes right back to the mining camp. Heartt also fights this back. Heartt's had a lot of farms. He still had wood. He's looking again. Yeah, he's looking again. He's like, okay, I see you, bro. You're not taking trees on my watch. And Barles ideally would want to open with a range, but he can't. And, oh, guys, is he going to the back? He's hoping there's a wood line. He's hoping there's a wood line. He's like, please. Dude, that's crazy. I mean, is this always there? Maybe experienced it. It is there, and he's found that. He's gotten very lucky. Heartt's never going to look back there. The villagers aren't exactly working efficiently. He actually needs wood for a mule cart right now. That's how bad his wood is right now. And Heartt's on the way up. Heartt would love to get man-at-arms. Barles is making more militia, though. He could get man-at-arms. Villagers are walking all the way home. Heartt's eco has been incredibly efficient over the last few moments. And Barles has been walking. Worker efficiency last minute, 48%. Heartt's also been very patient with this. He could have just attacked, but he's played patient, and now that villager's close to going down. He's trying to block, but he has to back away. But again, the efficiency is brutal. But again, the wood line is brutal for Heartt, and it's man-at-arms for Barles soon. They're both going to lose so many bills, bro. They're both going to lose so many bills. Honestly, Heartt just needs to click back to his straggler trees. At least he has those. And he needs to keep this army alive till he gets man-at-arms. Yeah, click back to the straggler trees. You can wall the golds. And then once you get man-at-arms, you massacre this wood line. These villagers are on a mule cart now. Heartt can afford a range. Heartt is getting man-at-arms. What a game. What a must-win for Barles, right? Barles is getting longsword now. Barles is getting longsword. Armenians can get longsword and feudal. No other civ can do this. That's really strong. I uploaded the video on YouTube where I died to this. Hard. It's so strong on this map because you can't wall it out. But now Man-at-Arms is in. Barles. Barles. That's 2 vills down. That's going to be 3. It's going to be 4. It's going to be 5. Hearttt was fighting back with villagers over here. That's 6 villagers down. And there's still no army to deal with this. Barles, do not fall into that TC fire. Otherwise, the game is over. Okay. He comes back, but there's archers there. And Heartt's going to kill 8 now. Can we get a 9th? Oh, man. That was devastating damage. And Heartt's got archers. And, well, he loses the archer. I was just going to say, if he micros these archers perfectly, the longswords will probably die. The issue for Barles was he didn't have a good enough flow of economy for a follow-up. So he invested everything into the initial longswords, and then he just, because of no wood, he was so late on the range. It was so brutal for him. He didn't really make any big mistakes. He needed to go to wood. He had to try and Vill fight it back. Like, he had no choice in the matter. And then he tried to get damage, but Hearttt has mitigated that damage really nicely. And Hearttt is just going to place a tower, go over to this wood line, and now he's on ranged units, and he's got such a massive Vill lead. Longsword is available in feudal. That doesn't mean it's cheap. And it's a 10 villager lead now for Hearttt. And he'll know it, too. Like, that was very clear. He doesn't know that there's 2 minutes of idle TC for Barles. So in the end, I think the Inca flexibility was actually superior than the mule carts. Hearttt loses his infantry there. I really don't think Hearttt was prepared for the Armenian thing. Like, he definitely got blindsided. Well played from him to lose those 2 vills and then just keep coming. In a normal game, when you have wood, you open Man-at-Arms, you kill those 2 vills here, and then you have an immediate range, but he didn't have wood. And here comes those range units now for Hearttt. Already with fletching. Can Barles even afford fletching? I'm not so sure. I like this. His archers can't defend, so I like the sneak. Hearttt should be outposting. Oh my god, bro. He's insane. He's insane. He's like, I'm protected on this side. I'm vulnerable on this side. I need to have some type of vision there. I feel like outposting is one of those things that I'm always asking for. The high-level players are just not doing. And that's a good move. Getting Town Watch as well. Because he doesn't see an army from Barles. And it would be very likely that Barles is going to have some units running through at some point. Look at all that vision now. It's funny, though, but Hearttt, if he comes here, kills all those vills, but he's never going to check that corner. That's such a funny little spot there for Barles. Things would have been so much worse if he didn't find that. There's one positive for Barles. And that positive, and there are the units now. And there they are in the golds, and Hearttt sees it and moves. The positive is you can actually win this game in feudal. You can go skirm longsword, and you have plenty of opportunity to win this game in feudal. Hearttt will get back to golds. Like, you already have a Castle Age unit that is really good against Incas, because Incas are, what are they going to go? Eagles? So, I actually don't think his tendency should be to rush to Castle Age. I think he should just try and recover with army numbers. And he's doing the right thing right now with skirms. Also, Hearttt, there's no reason he shouldn't just collect a little bit of stone and just place a tower on his gold. Then you're double towered on both sides. With Incas, it's super cheap to do that. I would like to see that instead of the outpost, just so you don't ever have to leave that gold. Res collected, there's a significant lead right now for Hearttt. But Barles knows, I can't play defensive. I have to move forward. This army's still trying to get away. This army's now pushing forward. And now Hearttt buys the stone. He will drop a tower. But he had the heads up. He saw this army coming. This army will maybe try and come from the other side. And I think with enough time here, Hearttt can just chill. Now, in the game I described, I couldn't chill because you could still get arson on the longswords, and fuel age towers die very fast. But Hearttt has enough ranged units around as well where probably that tower can't be... that can't happen. I'm glad you enjoyed me dying, Arbase. But it was cool. It was one of those games afterwards where I was like, honestly, well played. It's like, I was not expecting that. But just catching up in upgrades right now. Barles. Archers on the right side are being attacked by bears. Look at that micro from Hearttt. He dodged the first volley. Really well played. This army's kind of getting surrounded, so he has to be careful. But he is on the way to Castle Age. And in Castle Age, all of his army can get so much faster, or so much stronger, sorry. And he's got 2 ranges producing skirmishers now. Skirmishers is perfect. And then with Incas, you can make slingers, which completely wrecks the infantry. Yeah, I think the window for Barles is probably closed at this point. Like, he has all these longswords. It's not doing any damage. He is ramping up the production. So this is that big push. He's not thinking about castle, which is the correct play. But Hearttt just has just enough. 1 garrison from the tower and the army moving back through the choke points. And the longswords would die here. Hearttt actually is building a second tower just in case. So he definitely knows this could be a problem. Like, that tower probably is an overreaction. House walls underneath this one here. Looks like those archers from Barles got cleared up. And yeah, this is... Did arson just complete? I think it did. He's trying to dive the tower right now. But there's so many weak units here. And Hearttt could probably repair with a few units. Tower might actually go down. But Heartt's in Castle Age and GG and Hearttt just not on the same level right now. Hearttt 3-0. That was so good. That was a really fun game. That was a very interesting game. I love the strategy from both. I love the risk-taking from Barles as well. Yeah, there was 5 militia at his base. He technically had the option to try and match the 5 militia and then stabilize. But based on the Civ bonuses, that would have been actually worse for him. He did end up killing 2 vills. If anything, maybe after killing the 2 vills, then you make a few more militia. And then you kind of protect yourself so you can take the wood. That was the issue, was he rushed to feudal, and he arrived to feudal, and he could only get the man-at-arm upgrade. He didn't have any wood. He really struggled here. That will be reflected in wood collected, absolutely. And just every resource was so much better there for Hearttt. He had, what, a 10-villager lead at one point in feudal age? Like, obviously he's going to have a pretty significant eco advantage, and he took good fights throughout. And that's not really a build that I would have expected Hearttt to come out with here. I mean, obviously he saw it in the other sets and said, wow, that looks OP. I'm going to use that too. But still props to him for the creativity there. Because that opening probably needs to be practiced a bit. And I know I'm going to ask Hearttt about it. He's going to say, bro, I didn't practice it at all. I just winged it. But it looked as though he had a pretty good grasp on a really unique strategy. Can someone look up the how long the travel time is from Peru to China for me? Because right now, well, that's going to be what Hearttt is looking up after this. It's 3-0. He's played so well. Obviously, it's not over yet. No, not on foot. Apparently on Google, it says a 26-hour flight time. Yeesh. Okay. Is that counting layovers or no? That's a long way. Heartt's 1 win away from getting that trip. Heartt's playing as the Portuguese. This is a really nice map. So it's called Lookout. You start with the outposts, which gives you that lookout, that vision. I like how a lot of those stones and golds are always positioned on the front. So you are exposed somewhat. But then you have this little encampment. You have a free mule cart, regardless of the civ. You have an army tent, a tower, and then a barracks. So please do not build a barracks, players. We'll not name names, but we covered a set this week, and someone just completely forgot. And they just instinctively made a barracks here. Maybe it was intentional, but it felt like it was a mistake. So you actually can just go up really fast, go for an archer range, go for a stable. Now, we have seen a lot of archers, and we've seen the villagers, once they finish the hunt here, go over to this gold, because the gold is towered, right? So it's not, like, perfectly protected by the tower, but it's enough in the early game. So I could see Portuguese doing that with cheaper gold units here for Heartt. Khmer, though, pretty dangerous with their eco and with the ability to go for lots of scouts. So I like the Khmer pick a lot. I also like it for the style that Barles has. Barles is eco, cav, adapt. Barles is like eco, monks, adapt. But I wouldn't really consider him a really strong archer player or even infantry. It's just he loves to drop those TCs. Heartt's more of the archer timing player here, so Heartt's actually going to the gold here. Now, this is where it gets kind of fun to think about, right? Like the 3 on gold is good for one range, but it's not good long term because then you need to send villagers to gold here later. So you can just put these villagers on wood instead, and instead of sending an additional 3 villagers to wood here, you then just build the mining camp, right? So I think that's fine. You actually have militia from this barracks now for Heartt, and Heartt has been lurking all around right now to find out where Barles is. And this is what's tough about the map. Like, where do you scout? Do you scout your opponent's main base? Or do you scout their side base? Usually you're going to scout their main base. But Barles has found Heartt. He's looking around. He doesn't see a barracks, because obviously there's not going to be one here. And so Man-at-Arms looking pretty nice on this map. Heartt is actually going to take the gold here. But that's why Barles had picked Celts on the draft. We saw other players play Celts here. And now speaking of, Barles is actually going to go for a stable here. So he's also sneaking the stable. It gets kind of awkward long term when your military building's not near your base if you need to defend with anything. Really hard to surprise someone here, though, with Man-at-Arms. I wonder what Heartt is going for. I wonder. I assume Barles is going to see that. Okay, he'll see it now because he just sent a villager there. And it seems like he saw it before. Sorry. Oh, I promise I was holding that one in for a while. I think I have another one. Oh, it's really teasing me right now. But I can mute if that was too bad. But you know how it goes with sneezes. They sneak up on you sometime. Now, Barles, if he wants to add a spear for this scout, would have to add it from very far away. But I still think it might be worth it. And Heartt doesn't know that it's a scout opening for Barles. It's kind of interesting, too, how Barles is on gold still. So that's probably for this archer range. And Heartt will probably scout now to see what's happening. And he is going to see the archer range. But that's not his only military building here, Heartt. And did you see that? Heartt caught a glimpse of that in the fog of war. Immediately gets the quick walls down. The scouts do not surprise him after all. And it looks like a spearman died there, but that's it. A lot of work to get the walls down, though, if you're Heartt. You still need to wall all this. Very risky. You could overchop. Heartt is actually going to fight this back with Vils, I think. Yeah. That's crazy. I'm sorry. That's just the confidence that some players just don't have. I'm walling that every time because I can't deal with that. If I'm fighting back with Vils, I'm chasing too far, or my Man-at-Arms are getting hit by the archers, but he just fights it off, buys time for the spear. Man-at-Arms are moving away. Just super, super smooth. And house wall comes down, but he still has a lot of walling to do if he wants to full wall. Obviously, long term, that's always the goal, but not going to be so easy. Myths, does T90 have a streaming schedule? This is only like my 3rd stream to catch live, but I want to watch it more. I post it weekly on the Discord, so you have an idea of when I'm going live. It does vary week to week, so I would say join the Discord, keep an eye on there. We don't really update it on the Twitch too much, but you can follow. Obviously, sign up for push notifications for when I go live. And the Discord also has a notifications channel, too, if you prefer Discord notifications. So the man-at-arms haven't killed anything. And Barles is now able to pretty much trap them. He's got the scouts and the archers here. He's being patient with it, but I think Barles is in a pretty good spot. I'm sure he could be a little rattled after losing 3 games in a row. But he's played well today. It's just that Hearttt has been one step ahead. He had his chances in every single game. But now Hearttt comes in. Hearttt has fletching. Hearttt does have one more archer, and there's only 2 scouts. So the 2 scouts don't actually help a lot here. And that's confidence from Hearttt. And that's sloppiness from Barles. That archer, it wasn't in the group. And now Hearttt is just running in with a purpose, man. Reminds me of ACCM, reminds me of Nikov today. They're just so confident with the way they move with their units. Probably should back away at a certain point because you're not getting your archer reinforcements in across the map. And Barles will get more units because he's near his range. But he's using this time to maybe get some walls down, add the farms. He's actually not going for the full walls. And wow, they actually go into an engagement here. And Hearttt is winning the engagement. He's kind of winning the engagement. The skirmishers do have armor, actually. So Hearttt will have to back away now. T90 will never have a schedule and will always be late, says Bed of Roses. Well, I'm glad that my longtime subs have faith in me. It is true that if it's not a tournament, I am usually like 10 to 15 minutes late. But in my defense, I've been a little bit better and I do communicate if I'm going to be late in the Discord. Usually. Sometimes. Damn, that's crazy that Heartt's actually going to get away here. He has no business escaping that. Barles has got to be so frustrated with himself. If this army actually survives, and he invested into all these skirms, and he invested into armor, and doesn't get value from it, that's a pretty big swing. He does kill an archer now. There is still a weak one in there. Barles is looking for that. Hearttt won't let him get it. Hearttt is just so good. He will lose the archer, but he kills 2 archers. And Portuguese want to play through gold units, and they'll have it. And now Barles needs to move away from this gold. Wheels on the struggle bus says, is this the last game today? This is the last series today. We don't know if it's the last game. Obviously, with the scoreline and how the last 30 seconds have gone, could be. Heartt's just looking really comfortable right now. And I think if he was on 3 archers, it makes a pretty big difference on how I'm feeling. But when you make scouts and you make skirms and then you get the armor upgrades, you want to kill more archers because your castle age time will be delayed. Still a really smooth game from Barles. And Hearttt is on 1 range, still producing. Looks like he's walled here. Looks like he's walled here. I'm not seeing any holes. And he'll just stay 1 range. So this is a... If he can get good value from his crossbows, he probably can gain a pretty significant eco lead. This feels like he's building up towards town centers, but he will also add a scout. No, he canceled that scout, actually. And we do have the scouts over here from Barles, just disrupting the gold miners, but Heartt's like, I don't care. Even just the confidence there. He just clicks him right back to gold. Like, I'd think there's another army coming or something. Heartt's like, no, it's fine. Spearman's there, gets a poke. Yeah, this eco is going to be really smooth. Except for the fact he didn't have double bid axe all of feudal age. Hearttt pretty much had a perfect opening. A perfect opening when you don't kill villagers. Good castle age time behind it. Good army count once you get to the next stage. A lot you can transition into. It will be skirms long term for Barles. And Hearttt actually scouts that with this skirm. So he moved in to see what was being made, sees the commitment on skirmishers, just verifies, confirms that suspicion. Which, again, people need to do more. At your level, chat, I would suggest just sacrificing a unit just to gain the knowledge of what buildings they have. Like, there's no hope that the unit will survive. Probably. I don't know. You tell me. But at this level, he even saved the unit. So he did just lose a spearman to a wolf. Killed the scout there. Sorry, that was a little bit condescending. At your level, you guys already know this. Is that better? That's better. Yeah, you guys already know. I'm telling you things you're already doing. Elite Skirm upgrades on the way. Bodkin Arrow as well. Barles, though, he saw the Siege Workshop was on the way up, so he knows it will be Siege. And so, these Knights are a good move. But the Siege is even better if your opponent's playing a Skirm, and it's just perfect timing from Hearttt. But he probably needs to be careful here. He's microing with confidence. He's microing with crazy confidence. That's insane, dude. Sorry, the same rules just do not apply. People should not be getting in that close against the skirms. Even with these knights, that's not enough. And he didn't lose a crossbow, and now the siege is on the way. Portuguese excel here because all their gold units are discounted. And Barles has to fight through the emotions of already being down 3 games. And see if he can manage this. Whoa, that was weird. Thank you, Capture H. I'm in basically constant communication with Capture Age about the issues. There's a hole, guys. There's a hole. Knights are in. This is a perfect game if you're fully walled. What happened? There's a hole. Oh my god, he thought that little fake bush was a tree. Oh, if Barles can time this right, this could be sick. Hearttt has no clue those knights are there. A raid there. Now Barles could move out to take a fight here because Heartt's distracted. Hearttt saw it because he's put more onto the TC and he's quick walling. But yeah, there's a gap in your wall, my friends. You've lost 3 villagers. You've lost 4 villagers, and Barles will be very happy with that. He needed something. Yeah, I don't know if I switched the colors or not, or if chat's confused. But Hearttt is annoyed right now. He's still actually kind of okay. Oh, wait, was the hole there? I still can't tell if there's a hole here. Oh, thank you, Barles. Thank you, Barles. That answers that question. Appreciate you going out that way. Yeah, there's a hole right next to the stable. Some people will use a plant remover mod. It removes all useless plants. Like, that looks like one of these trees, right? But I think that's a unique type of terrain that's added specifically for this map and not on others. So maybe if Heartt's using a plant remover mod, it didn't remove that. Game's still close. But now there's defensive siege. And there's not many people that can push Barles in this position after you've already fallen behind in builds. But Hearttt is probably one of them. Barles is microing. It's been decent micro. He is on 2 TCs himself. Only 4 on food, though. And all those knights for Barles went down, so he needs to have his monks ready in case those knights will die for Hearttt. Bush removal mod? Sponsored by? Oh, dude, that'd be sick. What a shot from Hearttt! I'm trying, man, guys. I'm trying to get sponsors. That's a fun idea. Are you having a problem with your bush? Boom. Sponsorship from some shaver company. I'd have no problem with that. I don't think my parents would be proud, but I think that'd be really funny. At least we could, like, make some jokes with it and it wouldn't be an issue, you know? Guys, stop saying the brand. They clearly don't need the advertising. If you're saying the brand, you're getting advertised to already. What you're supposed to say is, I wonder what companies exist for such things. Come on. I'm giving them free advertisement right now. They're never going to sponsor Titans League. Hearttt pressuring down here is very well played. He tried to bring a crossbow to kill those vills, but the tower actually sniped it, which is funny. And I think Hearttt is just happy to hold this area because there's so much gold here. But there still is enough gold for Barles to work with in the back. There's actually a stone in the back, too. He's going to drop stables now for knights. And he's actually bringing his skirms and his monks this way. which feels like a really weird priority. Like, bringing your skirms this way is surprising. The monks, I get, but I guess this army kind of protects, and Heartt's not expecting it, and 2 conversions. But now Heartt could consider being more aggressive here. And, oh my goodness, dude, that was insane. That was an attack round. That was not a right click. That was an attack round. He got that shot directly where Barles was dodging to. And just punishing Barles for leaving with some of his armies in some ways. Yeah, that's just crazy, though. That's just so good. Heartt is locked in right now. Only thing that could undo him is the fact that he's got some eco exposed, and a counterattack could become problematic. But he's going to start to make knights from home out of multiple stables, which could be great against skirms, of course, but also the knights that Barles is making. Normally, you lose the mangonel here. Normally, that happens because you're distracted. But Heartt, like, dude. I mean, Barles is unlucky not to do more damage there, but still, that was ridiculous. And here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Barles has gone too far with his skirms. He has gone way too far with his skirms. He's run into +2 knights. And Heartt continues to hold this position. 3 town centers behind this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, my. Okay, that could have been worse. That could have been way worse for Heartt. And Barles was very unlucky there. Knights will die for Barles, but he doesn't have the upgrades to survive against the crossbows. Like, the crossbows will melt these knights. But he's just desperate right now. Ballistics isn't in, but yeah, he was hoping to clear all the siege, which doesn't happen. It's soon at a point where Heartt doesn't actually need much more siege either. Just 3 mangonels is fine, and it's all about the knights and the crossbows. Knowing Heartt, he's consistently producing. All the buildings are working. Vil count's still even. Res collected is still even. It just... Heartt just feels... Until something horrible happens, he just feels so confident. Splits around it. 1-for-1 trade is something he'll be happy with. The outposts were an excellent addition to this attack and Town Watch, so he's never getting... Bro. Oh! Oh! That was well played from both there. That was well played from both. Heartt wanted to finish the mangonel after a sick attack round. Barles got a pretty decent shot, but the mangonel still goes down. There should be a villager coming forward to repair the siege somewhere. And capture age. What in God's name, guys? I'm so sorry. Every single day, it feels like. I'm talking to them every single day. Other people are talking to them every single day. I just got to reopen capture age. I'm sorry. They said they're dedicating a lot of time this week to look into it and try and fix it, but it basically just crashed on me and flashbanged you guys. So hopefully you weren't too close to the screen. We're back in. Sorry, guys. And it's good, though. We just give them more examples that they can go off of and more logs that they can look at. Can you guys still read? Can you still see the game? Or are you now blinded? Oh, my goodness. Heartt kills another mangonel the second we come back. And I think the end is near for Barles. This TC is pretty much gone. Heartt really wants to go for the kill. He's sniping the monks with the crossbows. He will dive with the knights. He doesn't necessarily need to do this. This could be a mistake from Heartt. He does kill most of the monks, though. He does kill a lot of these knights. He does have more siege coming, and there is nothing left for Barles here. He just doesn't have the upgrades. He doesn't have the military numbers. He doesn't have the speed and precision. And Barles taps out, and Heartt will be going to China. Heartt is just so good, guys. He is so good. He comes so well prepped. And he's so consistent. Like, I think in the past, you used to worry that you weren't going to see the version of Heartt that we saw today. But I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what his prep looks like. I don't know if there's any secrets. But he just comes in sharp. I do think Heartt is a really big confidence player. And if you look at Liquipedia, you will see that this is not the first time that these guys have played each other. And this was a very confident matchup for him. Barles played great. I mean, he beat Vinchester the round before. So unfortunately, he doesn't qualify in this qualifier, but he does have another opportunity to qualify next week. So as it stands for the main event of this tournament, which will be held in China, we have Mr. Yo, Hera, Viper, and Leary already at the event. They were invites as the top 4, okay? Through this qualifier, chat, Twitch chat, and YouTube. I'm about to spoil what happened earlier today, so if you don't want spoilers, mute for like 30 seconds. Okay? And then all of chat can say it's safe to unmute, but just mute. I'm trying to do the right thing here. The other players who qualify from results today, which were also incredibly dominant, was Nikov beating Tato, and then why am I forgetting the other series? ACCM beating Sebastian, and now Hearttt beating Barles. So pretty convincing displays from the winners today, and they all brought an insane level.